Here we go. Okay. Now this, as you can probably see already, it is not, and I repeat, it is not security breach. As you can see, it is different. We get inspiration, and we take inspiration from other things like security breach, but we are not copying them. I've hand-designed and hand-built this based on other pizzerias along with security breach. As you can see, everything's slowly being built here. But eventually, we'll have everything fixed and ready to go. For now, we only have this so far. But to be fair, having this so far is pretty good. Now, the idea for what this is going to be is basically a roleplay. I roleplay as an animatronic, my sister roleplays as an animatronic, and we wander around after closing hours. Going around the place, looking at stuff, having fun. Now, the main inspirations for this place is both Security Breach and Indigo Park. As you can tell with all the little screens here and there. You got this screen, you got that screen, you got that screen. You got screens everywhere. They were supposed to show sponsors and things, but we're closed. Nothing's on. And we have a vent system for when we do have a night guard. So now we can travel around in the vents to all the different locations and some hidden locations. As you can see here, there's a little outcrop with piping and stuff. And then eventually you continue on, you find another spot. This is where the vent goes down into this area. Another outcrop. More outcrops. Little secret area. And eventually, you pop out somewhere else. I went from this room over here all the way to over there. Isn't that awesome? It does make you kind of wonder where the vents are. Because if I go ahead and look in here, the vent's right there. And somehow, I ended up over here. But all there is a thin path right here. And thin flooring over there. Anyways, the idea is for these to be stalls for like serving food and toys and things. And this will be a bowling alley. Do that, toss it, bowl. You got little drinks here and there at the bar. And this backstage area, wherever that goes. To be fair, none of this is like fully finished. For now, this is all we have right now. But eventually, we'll have a fully finished version. Right now, we don't. This is only the beginning. And up here, we'll have all the different animatronics, as you can see there. And little sponsors that we're not actually sponsored by, because they don't actually exist. They're just little things that you can find. And here is one of the hallways. Eventually it'll go farther than that. This will eventually lead to a stairwell, and this is where my sister works, the daycare. As I said, we took inspiration from Security Breach. It is not Security Breach, though. As you can see here, we went with medieval. You got the tower, you got the sun, the moon, and you got the medieval fortresses. Got blue team, you got red team. Red team has these towers. Well, has a tower. Blue team's over here. And the sleeping tent. You go to sleep in here. And the security desk is right here. And that is the back screen right there. And now, up here is where you check in. You got all the toys for when you're waiting to check in the kid. Somebody left a slingshot. Little waiting area, and then you got the check-in counter right here. And the light system for when we're open. Also, yes, all of these things do work that you see on the desks. Even the chair, it works. It's backwards. Probably should fix that. Here we go. I'm working at the desk. And eventually we'll have a secondary path that'll lead to here, where my sister hangs out. Yeah, the company had to cheap out on this area because of quote-unquote saving costs. We all know they don't really care. There's even a pile of trash and cobwebs. And a literal back door to the disposal area. Yeah, they didn't really care that much. And yes, you can go in all these different things. As you can see here, you can go in here, run around, play tag. Of course, I'm not a little kid, so it's a little hard. For these over here, though, they're little crawl spaces where you jump in and crawl around. Of course, the kids would have an easier time being able to run around in here. But thankfully, Rainy is designed for when a kid does get lost in here and can crawl around in here. Of course, I'm hoping that that doesn't freak out any of the kids, but at the same time, considering the company doesn't really care that much, and all they're looking for is money opportunities. And just running a half-ass business that looks good. But to be fair, they do care when it comes to certain aspects, such as day and night system for this place. I will demonstrate now by turning it day. The entire wall and ceiling change color and dynamics and texture along with this to simulate day, because it's day outside. And then it changes back to night. Night is much better and smoother because we don't really have We don't really have the budget for fixing the art style and stuff. Quote unquote an excuse for just not having the right blocks, but just going along with it. Anyways, eventually we'll have more to this. For now, this is what we got. Daycare, hallways, different things here and there, and the front entrance. But eventually, the place will be as big as this lot, where we have plenty of opportunity for several things. And here's the stairwell I was talking about. So yeah, can't wait for that. Oh, that's a window. So this will eventually be fully built and ready to go. Here we go. So yeah, so far we got this. And this is a sneak peek at what we have so far for what we are going to build and do. I am saying so far and all this other stuff very much because I'm running out of things to explain, because I can't really explain everything, or it'll all be a spoilers. A big giant spoiler. Spoiler alert, car flash. So yeah, this is what we have so far and everything and yada yada yada. And that concludes the sneak peek tour for what we got. Now back into my shipping box.